CO, Halito, what up, cuz?
Hey, what's up, cuz? What's going on with you?
Peace to everybody.
Peace to everybody in the chat.
Yes, everybody in the chat, those that will be tuning in later, those standbyers, observers, all of that. We still here. And I'm gonna be passing the talking stick to my cuz and our favorite nephew, Guale Origins. He got a birthday this week. So we give him a shout out. He'll be on shortly.
Happy birthday, nephew. Happy birthday. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He gonna be joining us shortly. You know, we waiting for everybody to come in.
Yeah, I see a couple of people, some numbers. They not saying nothing, but I can see the numbers. So peace to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Peace to you, cuz. Yeah, I know y'all see the title of the show. I know y'all see the flyer, and it, it's crazy how people want to say that certain group of indigenous people of the southeast supposed to be extinct, say that we are extinct, say that we are extinct. Matter of fact, I would like the people that said that we are extinct, I want them to show the documentation that said that we are extinct. I want them to show that the Yvmvse, right, or the Iguaa are extinct, or Guale, right? Because you got people that don't even know how to pronounce the word. You know what I'm saying? I like to know, how do we became extinct? See, I got the document that says what make a people extinct. I got the document. But see, y'all don't know, right? But how do people become extinct? I like to know. Prove that we are extinct. See, I like that our channel is not monetized, because we can say whatever the fuck we want. So, with that being said,
Repeat that.
and
We can
before
say
you,
whatever the fuck we want.
yes, because right before we do that, can you put up our favorite disclaimer? Can you pull it
Oh,
up for us? Put up the
oh,
disclaimer.
oh, yeah, I definitely can do that. Give me a
Pull,
couple
pull that
seconds.
motherfucker up. Pull that motherfucker up. Oh, this gonna be a good one tonight. Tag your mama, tag your grandmother, tag your father, tag your grandfather, tag your grand aunt, tag your aunts, tag your uncles, tag your godmothers, your godfathers, your uncles, right? Your nene, your parent. Tag everybody, even the enemies, even the naysayers. Tag them motherfuckers. Tag them. Tag them. Tag. Let them come in this motherfucker. Yes. Because y'all gonna stop playing with us. Y'all gonna stop playing with our bloodline. See, what y'all keep on forgetting is, y'all keep on trying to talk about erasure, 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 and then y'all talking about y'all trying to protect the Yvmvse. How you gonna protect the Yvmvse and y'all trying to say we not who we said we are? That's kind of backwards, you bitch, you. And yes,
That's
I
a
said it.
contradiction.
That's a contradiction, you know? But y'all hate it to where it says that the Yvmvse were Negroes and said that out of all the nations that we were dark skinned, right? Or better yet, Negroes. That's what they say. They say we are Negroes. And you got people that's upset and they're really thinking that we are Negroes because of the transatlantic slave trade. Nah, because they
No.
said that we was pre-Columbian Negroes. Well, what is pre-Columbian Negroes? That was Negroes that was here before Christopher Columbus came to the New World. So if you got Negroes that was here when Christopher Columbus came to the New World, that was in what? In 1492 when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So if he came to the Americas, which was the joining islands, right? Dealing with Hispaniola, which is now known as today as the Dominican Republic in Haiti, right? Right? Who's down there? This was before there was any transatlantic slave trade, because the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen until the 1600s. So if Christopher Columbus came in 1492, how many years there was since the Atlantic slave trade? Let's do the mathematics, shall we? Let's do the mathematics. We're gonna do the mathematics. Matt don't lie, you bitch you. 1492. 1492 is when Christopher Columbus came, minus 1619. That's 127 years. That's 127 years until the 1619, dealing with the transatlantic slave trade. That's 127 years between the two. So you already had pre-Columbian Negroes already here before Christopher Columbus came in 1492. So you can't say that the Yvmvse wound up with the Africans dealing with the transatlantic slave trade. And let's do this, right? Because at the time of the transatlantic slave trade, the place that they called West Africa wasn't even much known as West Africa at that time. It was called Guinea. It was called Guinea. It was called Guinea. So you can't even say there was Africans in the 1600s because it was called Guinea.
And what about the Akibulan?
No. That's not what I'm saying, because
No, I'm saying what
they
about
didn't
that?
have listen. They did not have a consensus on the continent to call it that. Everybody on that landmass didn't call it that Akibulan. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Everybody
right.
on the landmass.
I know that. I just wanted to bring that point up because people will use that name.
Nah. See, this is why you got to deal with a timeline. At a timeline, it wasn't called Alkebulan through the transatlantic slave trade. The landmass wasn't called that. They didn't even much have countries at that time. Only thing that the people had was tribes and kingdoms. It was not a unified nation or
Right. I just want
country
you to point that
over
out.
there.
I want you to point that out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go to. Right, absolutely right, cousin Anthony. And that's what that's dealing with. So you got to deal with the Negroes that was here before Christopher Columbus. And that's actually showing, dealing with the congressional records that was from the late 1800s and it was put in 1901. All right. I don't know if you still have that, cuz in our reservoir, right? To pull up, but it was a European that said that he was the um he was the expert, in other words, that these people that he saw as the Yvmvse were Negroes. And people wanna, when they read it, they just want to look over it. When they that it was Negroes, they just want to look over it, like just skip it, like they didn't see the word Negro there, right? But even their European scientists even said there was a Negro de Guinea. Look what it said, de Guinea. It didn't say Africa. It said Negro de Guinea because it was dealing with Guinea, right? And then you had the Negro de Terra, right? That's what it says. So you have two branches of Negroes. The Negro of De Guinea, and if you know what De Guinea is, like I said before, dealing with the transatlantic slave trade, they called it Guinea, right? Dealing with that. Hold on, roll back down. I can see it, cuz. Go back up. I can see. Okay, there it go. The Yvmvse, well, no. Go back up. Oh, all right, there it go. Yeah, it says that the Yvmvse were a multi-ethnic confederation of Native Americans, and the Spanish term Negro de la Tierra, blacks of the land, was a term used for the indigenous people in some contexts, and the idea that the Yvmvse were black tribe is inaccurate, right? Erase their distinctive identity. But that's what they said we were. Don't try to change the motherfucker now. Don't try
Right,
to
right.
change it
That's why I
now.
scrolled down because this
Don't
is the
try to.
AI's version. So I'm trying to find the book that I read a couple of podcasts ago that actually break this down. The Jack Forbes, he wrote on it with the Negro Indians.
Yeah,
And
but even they're trying to discredit that man, and he's a Lenape. He's
yeah,
Lenape.
they don't, anybody who gives us credit, they don't want that. So we already know.
But even the congressional records, anytime you have people that argue against congressional records, they're assholes. I said it. They're assholes. If you're going to argue against, can you see if you can pull up their congressional records? Cause do you remember when I sent it to you? All right, even with Jack D. Forbes. All right. Let me see if I can find it on here.
This is it right here. I read this.
Okay, go ahead and read it because while I look for the congressional records.
Yeah, let me put on my glasses. But I want to find the one, the page that talks about the Negroes de Terra. But in this beginning, it's saying the word black may include all Negroes, but the term Negro does not include all black persons. We are of the opinion that words white, Negro, mulatto, and black persons, whenever they occur in our Constitution, must be taken in their generic sense. That the words black person in the 14th section must be taken as contradistinguished from white. So anybody that wasn't white, they called them black, the misnomer black. And necessarily includes all races other than the Caucasian. So anybody that wasn't Caucasian, they called them black. All right. All right. So I'm gonna scroll down because I want to focus on the Negroes de Terra.
Go ahead, cuz.
Uh, This is a good point. It says in the British slave colonies of North America along the Atlantic coast, many persons of American ancestry. Nephew in the building.
All right, bring the birthday man up. Bring the birthday man up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up.
He got himself muted. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, okay. It's saying they were classified as blacks, Negroes, mulattoes, or people of color. And these terms were, of course, used for people of African ancestry misnomer. The manner in which Americans and part Americans were sometimes classified as mulattoes and people of color. From the New England to South Carolina and in the Spanish Empire are explored elsewhere. The purpose it here is to illustrate how the term Negro has been applied to people of American descent. And right here it says the possibility that Native Americans were quite commonly called Negroes is very much supported by the Portuguese usage. During the colonial period, Brazilian Indians were repeatedly referred to as Negroes or as Negros de Terra, Negroes of the land. A great many examples from the 16th and later centuries are cited by Greg Federici in his analysis of Portuguese sources. All right, these do not have to be repeated here, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so they just, talk about Negros de Terra, and then later they mention the Negro Indian. But I'm going to pass the talking stick to you, cuz, and nephew. Shout out to you, nephew. My rising sign is Virgo, so I feel you a little bit. I'm a Libra. So, my birthday is later in September, but happy early birthday. And your
Thank
mic is
you.
muted.
Happy early birthday to ya. Happy early birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Yay. Yay. The Virgo
Yes, sir.
season,
Yes, sir.
bitches. Ah.
Alright.
Definitely, I appreciate definitely appreciate y'all for that. Um for the birthday wishes, especially early. Um I done turned up
His mic
early,
is
early.
up.
So can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably when I get that key lama system,
Yeah, we can hear
my
you. We can
voice
hear you.
kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm here. I'm all for it. Um, there is a book that I would like to give both of you. Auntie, you can actually grab this book for the free ski on archives.org.
What is it called?
It's called Creeks and Seminoles. You can just type that in, Creeks and Seminoles, but it's a PDF, but it's called Creeks and Seminoles, The Destruction and Regeneration of the Muscogee People. And that text will explain how um, being that a lot of our identity became classified under Muskogee, it actually speak on different African peoples or people that would be considered African today, that became a part of the Muskogee Confederacy. So um, that's a good text to read when it comes to those of us who have admixture. I just wanted to add that to the panel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, that book right there.
Right.
I actually own that physically.
Right.
It's like you can borrow it. Borrowing is free real quick. You can just search, you can just go through
Right.
chapter one
So
alone, chapter one, or chapter three. One and chapter three will blow everybody minds on the podcast.
Let me go to another screen because I don't know what it's gonna ask me. I thought it was gonna ask me to put some information in.
Make the people.
What page are you coming from? Or are you just coming off the dome and you gonna share?
Oh no, I really was just coming off the dome. But
Oh,
what page are you on right now? Because I just went in my library and grabbed it.
oh shit.
So for instance, if you go if we start on at the beginning at chapter 1, what chapter you on? You're not too far. You can start right there, page 7, wherever you were at. But okay, so right there on chapter 1, if we look at the first 3 lines on where it says, okay, this is the story of an Indian people, the Muscoogalies, who were not a people, and of Indian nations, the Creeks and Seminoles that were not nations. That's very important. It
Mm-hmm.
says during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, assorted Indians lived in the present day states of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. The alternative to referring to them as Muscoogalies, Creeks, and Seminoles is to rely on a welder of tribal names: Yvmvse, Tuckabachi, Hichiti, Kashadi, Alabama, Tamukwa, Natchez, Shawnee, and Yuchi. The list is a long one, 50 to 100 or so. By the late 18th century, these tribes, remnants of those who had greeted De Soto in the 16th century, had been incalculably reduced in numbers, and many approached extinction. It would be more accurate to refer to them by their individual tribal names. Let me repeat that. It would be more accurate to refer to them by their individual tribal names, but it would be more awkward. Thus, in the name of expediency, we refer to the Creeks, Seminoles, and the imprecise but all encompassing Muscogee. Europeans are responsible for most of the onomastic confusion, but we might start with Creek. So basically, chapter 1 will explain that when we're dealing with the Southeast, we're dealing with a multitude of people, sometimes hundreds and even, excuse me, thousands of names of different quote unquote communities. But to make it simple for Europeans, they classified them as Creek. So right here on page 2, where it says the term Creek is of English origin, then it says to use it in the late 17th and early 18th century, right? But Alexander McGilvery, they are explaining later in this middle section of page 2 that he understood what the meaning of Creek was. Now, in my book, I do have notes. So, in the invention of the Creek Nation,
Mm-hmm.
page like let's say 34, 134, it explains that the name Creek was used for political purposes, right? But you'll also see names like the Alabamas, the Mobilians, the Apalachicola, et cetera, et cetera. And this same
Mm-hmm.
page explains
Mm-hmm.
that our Hichiti cousins are some of the oldest inhabitants of the Southeast. So before those people pulled up, we'll leave it there. Um, a lot of us have ancestry here. What these people on TikTok have an issue with is, and I'm gonna make this fucking clear. Oh, I called the BIA and said the Yvmvse. So basically, what you did was call the crackers. That's what you did. Instead of addressing the fucking problem yourself, You called the crackers. Now watch this. Is that not the same thing them niggas who went west did? When niggas start to get on the ass, they went and got their white friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this text is about right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what this book is about right here. Because if you read page 3, it says, as far as we know, Muskogee was the language of the true Muskogees, of Coweta, Coshita, Coosa, and Nabika, the core or founding towns of the Creek Nation. But most Creeks did not speak Muskogee.
Mm.
So you can't say the Yvmvse are extinct while saying, some of the Yvmvse became a part of the lower creeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense. You can't say the Wale are extinct while saying, some Wale became Yvmvse and some of them became Lower Creek, and those who didn't fuck with them went to Florida and became known as the Calusa. But see, everybody's not that well versed. You see, like everybody's not that well versed. So we're dealing with people whose ancestors left the Southeast because hell, shit, they might not even originally be from over here. They just went back home. They sold your shit and went back home and then tell you you don't exist. But the reason they have the right, I'm going to tell you, they have the right to tell you you don't exist is because you don't practice shit. You don't speak your language. You don't practice your ceremony. You don't be around your family. You don't know your dances and your rights. So that's why they tell you you're pretending. Is because you're not a practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
So a pretendian is someone who said, I'm Indian, because grandma said I'm Indian. But if a nigga said, hey, it's time for ceremony, you don't know what's going on. You can have somebody white passing and know ceremony better than you do.
Yeah,
that means, yeah, we all know what that means. You might think that's a white boy, but that white boy know how to recreate or revitalize sacred time or bring back sacred time to his people. So knowing you're Muskogean, knowing you're Yvmvse, knowing you're Wale is half the battle. What do you do that can show that that's who you are?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me the Wale language dead, so that's why you speak Ichidi. I'm gonna tell you, you're a fucking liar. Excuse my language, Auntie, but you know how that cat family get, Auntie.
Go hard.
You are a fucking liar because we speak the language. a language they said was dead. We actually found a community of people that speak it, and when I say that's the language of the Wale, they said, yep. So don't say you're Wale and then tell somebody, nah, we speak this because our language is dead. That person can know that you're a fucking pretender.
They've been misinformed.
You're misinformed about your own shit, though. Here's the difference about your own shit. Ain't like you talking about somebody else and can be corrected. Cause hey, this is mine. But ain't that supposed to be yours and you don't know what the fuck going on?
Right.
Is it really yours? Or do it belong to those that do it for real? So books like this are very important because, for instance, it says some shit like, for those Indians who perhaps did not speak either Muskogee or English, talk about the upper and lower creeks coming together and about a unified Creek nation was bewildering. So imagine somebody calling you Muskogee, but you don't even speak the language. And you don't speak English. So you don't know what the fuck is going on. You see what I'm saying? Do you niggas really know who y'all are? That's why them people get on y'all ass like that. That's why they do the shit that they do. You notice those of us that do it for real don't have those problems. The only reason they come at say cool like that is because he got a big name. But as soon as he showed them documents, you start to see they fall away. If your ass was well versed in this and you could spit this shit off the dome, you would have no issues. But the fact that you gotta actually open the book and flip through a book to get your answer, and the fact that you could take a picture with 50 niggas around you and ain't one woman around you, let me know everything I need to know. They pick up on that shit too. You think they don't?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only picture I took of myself at Kolamoki has 4 women in it. 3 different, excuse me, 2 different clans, 4 women. You niggas don't post no pictures around the women. You niggas aren't around your mothers because the mothers are the ones who guide ceremony. How the fuck you do a ceremony without the mothers making sure the tools are clean? I'm just simply asking a question. That's why they call you pretendian. It's not because you say you Indian, it's because you don't do shit the proper fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Especially
I
when
be
you
tripping
say
though.
that all America is Egypt.
Hey, Paul,
Go
you
ahead,
know my
nephew.
saying.
Go
Them
ahead.
niggas suck peen, man. They suck peenie. I'm not gonna say the whole word, but niggas suck peenie, man. Um, Also in this book, Auntie, if you go to page 8, if you can't click over to page 8, page 7 and 8, excuse me, actually talk about the Hittite. So, for instance, on 7, it says, it is best to start with the Hittites who formerly live in Tama and Appalachian other southeastern chiefdoms, supposedly were the oldest and the original inhabitants of the soil and the elder brother of the other southeastern Indians. That's a part of the map there. So, though we know the story, I'm here to say, though they came after other people, they're still some of the oldest inhabitants and they belong where the fuck they were. For us to argue about what was is for us to argue about it. We not involved in them crackers. So we're talking about what's going on and what is. When we read Wood, we understand the Yamasi, the Yamakra, the Oconee, the Igichi, Shawanoki. These are some of the original people. Yet when the Atakata came in, a lot of people started speaking their language. So
Right.
page 8, you even on page 8, it says, while some Hittites were on the Okmulgee, newcomers immigrating from the west began to settle on the headwaters of that river. They established themselves on the Okmulgee's headwaters and elsewhere in Georgia and Alabama. According to tradition, vague references by Spanish explorers and skimpy archaeological evidence, these Indians, including those from the 4 original or mother towns of Abika, Kusa, Kawita, and Kushita, who in the early towns apparently spoke only true Muskogee, had migrated, in a series of waves from the Red River, some say Mexico, crossed the Mississippi, and founded one or more chiefdoms in the interior of the Southeast. The Hittite word, the Hittite word for these invaders, the Hittite word for these invaders was Ochesi, one and the same. The Ochesi meant the people they called Hittite. These are the same fucking word. You met your mother, but that's our story to tell.
I'm trying to see something.
But
Let's see.
imagine
Let's
being
see. I don't know why
Muskogee.
my laptop is
Now
acting
go ahead. Oh,
crazy.
oh, okay. Imagine being Muskogee and not understanding that the Hittite are your mother.
And
That's why people call you pretending. We know we are
nephew,
alive
it's let
today, but what you all have to do is get your
you there,
families
cousin Christina?
together. Can you
Hmm.
hear me, Paul? You can hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, we
What
Oh,
you
you
locked
still
in.
there?
Go ahead,
Okay.
if you want, because all I was saying is this: get y'all fucking families together and stop playing this game and get the fuck out y'all feelings, bro. Your argument with one man shouldn't become a 50 versus fucking 50. If you can't stand on your own, if you can't be in that flame, of course you should stay the fuck away from me. Get y'all shit together and people will stop fucking with y'all. That's all I got to say for the night. Really, honestly, Auntie, I'm not even lying.
And then they do fuck with people that know their shit because they are jealous because you know your shit. Like That's why they fuck with Miku because he knows who he is, and he practiced ceremony. He
They
practiced,
hating on that man bad. Mm-mm-mm.
yeah. So it's really bad. So keep doing your shit, nephew. Stay on their neck.
Well, I'll tell them, like I told everybody else, even growing up, my family and my life, everybody's isn't. But if you have your family, you need to get your family together. Whatever tribe they say they are, you need to get your shit together. Go amongst them people and learn. Stop feeling like because you read a couple books, you're above the tribal people themselves. Stop
Mm-mm.
feeling like because you're a part of an internet community that you are above the tribal people themselves. You need to go speak to these people. And now, not tomorrow, like now.
Yeah. Yeah, dialogue with them, learn some of the ways, see how they practice, you know.
Right. Because
Mhm.
Auntie, so much of that was lost. And we're talking about in the general. We're talking about those who actually you and usually tune in. A lot of this stuff was lost. So why keep making excuses not to go see what at least it was like?
Right.
Oh, well, the Cherokee owned slaves, so though my family said they're Cherokee, I'm not gonna. But you don't know if your family were slaves, quote unquote, to their own family. What if that was a family member who bought them back?
Right, exactly. Because that
You
was a
see what I'm
lot
saying?
going on, right.
Or what if, yeah, what if your family member probably was Muskogee and they got in the war with the Cherokee? But instead of killing them, they said, we're going to adopt y'all into the clan system to replace the lives that we lost to your own family. So being that your family killed ours, in order for us to spare you, we going to take you away from yours and bring you in our system. They don't know how the fuck we live, auntie.
Well, they gonna learn today. And every time you read a book and do a podcast, you let them know with the knowledge.
I'm always going to bring it, definitely. Because there's nothing to hide, right? It's okay. Somebody put it in the book. What am I going to read it and hide it from the people for? That doesn't
Right,
benefit me. That doesn't benefit me at all.
right.
But what happens when I tell you some shit, then I read a book and be like, oh shit, this in the book. Like I never knew somebody put this in the book.
Yeah, that has happened to me several times. I've read it in a book. I'm like, okay, so that was really like spiritually divine how that happened. So I feel you on that. What you
And
say,
it be right time, man.
Pa? Did you say something?
No, no, I was actually saying right, right. I was agreeing. My
Oh,
laptop is acting crazy. I don't know why, but it
yeah, I
kicked
see
me
you
out.
in here under Golden Bear. That's your other moniker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll put it.
Now go ahead, nephew. Is he muted?
Oh, I'm back. Nah, I just gave my wife some free picks on the bookie and she hit. She gonna come now, so I'm about taking one. But yeah, I'm back. So now let's get to the people who say them niggas don't exist. Bro, it ain't got shit to do with you being your bossy. It ain't got shit that you do with you being Wale. Just the fact that one person said if a bitch got dark skin, they niggas. That's why people hate you. Literally. Them people see Sekou and they see he's darker than him and they see his hair texture is more niggerish than theirs, and it's that nigga can't be a Indian.
That's a lookology.
Yeah, lookology. But then you ask them, bitch, do you look like your ancestors? Ah, yeah. Bitch, do you look like them niggas that came from Asia with that thick ass black hair, bitch, and them flat ass feet and them big ass jaws? Of course you don't look like your grandparents because I don't look like mine either. Shit changed. You are what you eat. Ask grandma.
Right.
Uh-oh. So when we talk about the Wale, a nigga talking about, yeah, I'm Wale. You could test my score right now. And I bet you it matched the Wale. And I say, well, the original Wale ain't eat corn. So I guarantee you, your shit don't match theirs. But I took my DNA test and my only ethnic group is fucking Carolina.
Interesting.
Interesting. These people say, you 64% Nigerian, but your only Nigerian ethnic group is Carolina. And then they show you the migration map of your DNA. Pa, correct me if I'm wrong. The shit started in America. Fuck me up.
Right.
That's
But
interesting.
if you don't know who you are, somebody can say, nah, I get that's what it say, but it actually means this. You see what I'm saying? If you don't know who you really are, somebody can really play with you and play with and have you even confused in your own right. Man, y'all better stop playing with this shit and start practicing. And if you don't have no real medicine man, if your medicine man not tried, if he's not tested in any other systems, I don't trust him. I feel like say cool. Nigga, in August, 4 different Yvmvse groups popped up. I was like, what the fuck going on? That's why they call you pretending. It's like going to church. It's like living in the hood. All of us grew up in the hood, man. It's 13 churches in the hood, 14 blocks. Tell me I'm lying. I thought we all worship the same God. All right. My niggas, man, you know what when I eat my grapes, and I drink my tequila, I go to preaching. I teach this shit so good it become religion. You teach this shit so good it become religion. Because a nigga can't talk to me about being Indian. Grandma said, okay, so who did grandma give birth to? Mama. What mama on? Well, mama ain't really on it. Well, fuck you. You can't even save your own mama, nigga. Straight up. My mama had me when she was 16. You can't save your own old girl. You can't save nobody else. Your mama had you to believe in something. The least you could do is take her back to her origin. She just had to give birth to you. But a lot of you niggas don't have the nuts to put mama in her proper place. Niggas so worried about being the face of a movement, whole time they sisters don't know what the fuck going on. My sister, a Florida State Seminole, graduated sum cum laude on blood. You heard my wife, you right, man. Oh, they read? I told you, yeah, they read, yeah. But on this topic, the reason them people come at a lot of Negroes the way they do is because niggas be playing with this shit, and you can't. This is not to be played with. I'm speaking to people who are more superior than I. Auntie and Pa are more superior than I, especially when it come to mine. Their wisdom is way surpassed mine. I'm only fucking 30. I'll be 31 on Tuesday. Ancestors willing. But y'all gotta stop playing with this shit, man.
You got also.
But they say that, Auntie. I be listening to that Shirley Murdoch. You feel? Don't tell nobody. You know, Stephanie Mills. That's Dave. She about 60 something, and she still fine. But but I was raised by my daddy. But my daddy was in the wheelchair. But he was that nigga. But he was in the house with his daddy. So I watched another nigga tell my daddy, "Hey, I ain't trying to hear that shit." So it's order. A lot of niggas ain't had a daddy in their life, so they don't know how to put their old girl first. I hope y'all understand what the fuck I just said. A lot of you niggas ain't had your daddy, so you never really seen a nigga put your mama first. The first thing I did is when they got my mama out the fucking church.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's why they play with y'all, bro. Y'all gotta take this serious. Your grandma say you Cherokee, be Cherokee. Yeah, we know the story that, hey, everybody that was called Cherokee wasn't Cherokee, but guess what, motherfucker? Your grandma became Cherokee. Nigga, be Cherokee. It's okay. I got Cherokee family. I got Muskogee family.
Yeah.
They're the invader. Nigga, I got family that took down the nation of Guale. You don't think the niggas was considered the invader too? Uh-oh. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, everybody invaded on somebody's shit. So
Mm.
don't look at me like I'm being green by telling the fucking story. If you live this shit, you fuck niggas would not have a problem. That's why they come at you. America as Egypt. You lack so much tribal information. You've replaced your grandmother's tribal information with the Nile Valley. Even if you got an Israelite granddaddy, yeah, you still an Israelite, but that don't make the Indians Israelites. But you niggas are so dumb. Your head so far up your ass. You would consider all Indians to be Israelites because you're afraid to let go of their religion. This shit is foolish to me, but people have to take this serious. And as long as you play with it, the longer it's going to take you to get right, the longer it's going to take you to do it for real. And stop trying to build armies. If you got to stand on your fucking own, stand on your own. If you can't, you a bitch. Stay the fuck from around me. I don't have to recruit nobody to not like you. This is what the people out west do. This is what they do to say cool. They literally make a video about him and then send it around and try to recruit people to
Mm.
make more videos around him, about him. That's gay. Why don't you just
Yes.
say, hey, you and I, let's go live. You go live, I go live. We'll drop this information together. You's a bitch. You don't want to. Because he will rape you. Excuse me? He will grape you. So y'all stop
Mm.
entertaining them people, man, and focus on your own bloodline. Cause can't nobody tell me shit. Eagle Joe said what he said, and I dare one of you niggas to go against my uncle. You will get treated like my teacher did. I dare one of you to go against Auntie. You'll get treated like my teacher did. Go against Pa if you want to. That's my blood. Y'all have to get y'all shit together and learn how to defend y'all family story. If you don't know your family story, just shut the fuck up until you learn.
Exactly.
Shut up, bro. It's okay to be the fucking student.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be the student. But I don't.
Mm.
So I'm getting my food ready for lunch. But peanut butter and jelly, 2 eggs, and we gonna rock it out for lunch tomorrow. Back to the bill, bro. Y'all get y'all shit together, bro.
Yeah.
Learn your family story. Talk to your elders. I'm sorry, Auntie. Go ahead. I'll be rambling.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, because even okay, I I approach things like this. Even the teacher is the student. I mean, you have to learn. You have to be open to learn. If somebody has information and you see that they have a a trail, like a source, a origin, that a source that is credible, like you can learn from somebody. You never too big to learn from people. Like I don't understand that.
It's right. It's like when Paul and I was talking earlier. I say, we're all the subordinate, the equal, and the superior to someone. It's somebody out there who see like, hey, nah, he know a lot, but he's still the subordinate. So that would have to be somebody who built a community of 300 plus people, right? That's how I would see it. But there's someone who say, he and I are actually equal. But then there's someone who say that's my superior. And it's okay for me to say, the people that are greater than I are my superior. I don't understand, Auntie, why some people just can't be the student sometimes.
Yeah, because I be the student every time I be on the podcast with y'all, and it just challenges me to look at the book sources, and then it reminds me of some book sources that I have read in the past on my genealogy journey, just looking at the different tribes that are connected to my family, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Okay, but you and Pa, y'all can kind of like quote, like you will get like technical and shit and say page 134 and shit like that. I'm not gonna say page 134, but I'm gonna remember that I read the
Right,
shit
right.
or I know what you're talking about. So
That's real.
yeah, everybody can learn something. So don't ever think you too big that you can't fucking learn something. So I just had to add my uh money
Oh
to it.
nah, I'm definitely all for it. Before I introduce myself, people, oh, you're a master teacher. I'm like, nah, I'm a master student teacher. Cause trust me, I'm a student before I go to spitting this shit, and before I go to actually studying it, I have to be able to soak it in, to take it in, to understand what's going on, to even be able to decipher the information. I just first have to fucking listen. Same thing. Ah, I just want all of us to do better. That's all. Like when, and y'all know what I mean. Like the people who, not those of us that are the practitioners. Excuse me. I'm speaking of those who aren't practitioners that get caught up in the fuckery. You'll save a lot of energy if you start to live the way that you say you do. Can you really be Yamasi without knowing how to prepare your Ziyamas or your mace or your Yamasi for ceremonies? Can you really be Wale without knowing how to make a blue fire? Are you really Muskogee if you never dwelt in the swamps? Are you really Cherokee if you oppose the system that was against you? So you technically became somebody who was of a different speech or those opposite of us. Do y'all know the shit that y'all really be claiming? You have to practice this and start to live it. That's another way you get these people. Just get them the fuck out the way. You're gonna have the haters. Sekou know how to deal with the haters. As soon as he dropped the information, it's a new one every week. But what happens when you have the same level of information and you can take that off his hands so he could focus on other shit? That's when we see who really well versed in this shit. When the chief can say, I ain't got shit to say, I'm gonna let them handle you. Cause you can't fuck with my weakest. All right.
Pa, you too quiet. What you over there doing? You pulling something up? Cause your mic is muted. We can't hear you.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get this feedback.
Oh no,
Yeah.
what part got going? You got four systems open?
No, what happened is my laptop went crazy, so I had to pull up my had to pull up my phone. So that's why I had to turn down the sound on there. But but yeah, like you were saying, some people don't want to be students because they think they're the teacher. You know what I'm saying? And like you said before, by them not having the tribal information, they replace it with some foolishness. And by them misleading themselves, they mislead a whole lot of people because you see it on TikTok, you see it on Instagram, you see it on Twitter, you see it on Facebook, you know. And when you don't see them with their family, that makes you scratch your head like, what's really going on? And that's why they go in there, people, because you see them running around with a war bonnet from Taiwan and Thailand and from China and stuff. It's like, Hold on, bro. You said that you're supposed to be a part of the Southeastern family, but how you gonna wear a war bonnet in the swamps? You know, they
Yeah,
wore war bonnets on the plains because nothing can snag it. You know, and then you wearing other type of stuff that's not even much worth it. You know, you're not wearing the right regalia from the nation that you claim. You know,
right,
that's
right.
it's just like it's just like somebody said they're in the blue, but yet they wearing all red. Like, hold on, homie, what you doing?
What part of the
you know,
game is this?
or vice
For real
versa.
though. For real
Like
though.
vice versa. Like, what you
For
doing,
real.
bruh? Like you
Yep.
false flagging. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I had to put my disclaimer out when I did the podcast on my great cousin, where once Coco Koweski, she wore a feathered headdress. And so I had one that I handmade, and it had some hawk feathers on it. So it wasn't. That's why I put that disclaimer out. It wasn't made from China. It wasn't made no fucking where else. It was made fucking hands and
Heck no.
Right,
ancestor
right.
as a
Yeah.
tribute. As a tribute.
And people them can tell that you got it from Porty City or Porty
Yeah.
Trent,
Yep.
or from a Halloween store. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's not authentic. It's
Yeah,
not
they
Cause
authentic.
yep, for the wedding, somebody said some funny shit. Bitch said, "Oh, you got on the fez." I said, "Shit, that's not what Grandma made though." Cause I swear to God, she the one who made my headdress for the wedding. I was just fucked up in the head, like, bro, you really think that's a fez? Like,
You know,
nigga, if you knew that my grandma made me a hairdress because it was wartime at my wedding, I was ready to smoke some shit.
right? They
yeah,
don't
to the naked
understand.
eye, it looks like a fast. Somebody that
You
doesn't
so
know.
yeah, to the naked eye, you'll say that's a fez. But then all it's gonna take me to do is read you a half nigger book, a nigger Indian, Frank Speck, to say the head shape of the headdress was kind of round, similar to a dome to repel the blows of arrows. Uh-oh.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
I gotta read it to you.
hmm.
My bad. I gotta read it to you.
And with you having the feather on there, that distinguishes it to
That's
me.
what they ain't get. You
Or
see?
even, or even, or even when we wear a turban, right? They're thinking a turban
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
makes you a Moor, or you dealing with Islam, or you pajami, right? Because you got on a turban. It's like, do you know the reason why we wore turbans? Remember, our regalia didn't have no pockets, and sometimes our turbans held our collectibles. And then sometimes we'll
Actually,
take the turban off. We'll take the
facts.
turban off and take the turban and lay the turban on the ground and put our belongings on the turban and take the turban and tie it around the stick and carry it on our shoulders. But y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about
So
that.
so that blade wouldn't be disguised as a feather, and I pull that shit out my turban and stab the fuck out you.
Right, right,
My nickname Blade, so I'm just gonna say, yo, you know that. I ain't gotta tell you, but you know that. Stop the fuck out you, bro.
right. They don't
Like, come on, bro, stop
understand.
playing. Like,
Mm-hmm,
bro, like people don't understand when it's like carrying a basket on your head. I
mm-hmm.
got a lot of shit in the turban. Medicine, and we were so live in Panther family, we had rubbers. Every family ain't had rubbers. We wasn't trying to get everybody pregnant.
Right.
So, and like that turban, that headdress wasn't simple. Like that shit means something, but it just wasn't for. Nah, man. Listen, if you got it made in China, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, but get rid of that shit and contact Charles Henderson as soon as possible.
Yes, yes, plug.
Contact him as soon as possible. Whether it's beads, weapons, hairdresses, whatever. Get at that man for the work. My whole thing today is a lot of this stuff will stop with those people coming from the West when you all learn how to defend your shit. There's no reason Sekou should be arguing with niggas not being a white chief. I'm just saying, he's a peace chief. Correct me if I'm wrong. If he's the big chief,
Right.
then he's somebody dealing with exactly. So the nigga that want to argue with everybody and the people that be wanting to argue, man, all you Yamasi that argue with me, y'all need to be on them people ass. Save your chiefs the heartache. Because them people don't know what the fuck they talking about. Y'all chief running circles around them fucking people. Auntie talking about, I called the BIA on the Yamasi. Bro, that's some real cracker shit. Like,
That's crazy that she did
That's
that's
from Albuquerque,
crazy.
New Mexico. From
bro.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
But
She had nothing to
hey,
do with us over here.
how many times kids playing outside and the old white lady just called the police on them? Like, bitch, you a cracker at heart.
A Karen, that's what they call a Karen.
Yeah, you caring
Yeah,
too much.
she indigenous Karen.
Man, only thing indigenous about her is that sausage she had in her hand. Other than that, with that fat ass neck, ain't nothing indigenous about that lady. Ain't none of our aunties got no neck like that, man. I
Double
don't
chin,
care
yeah,
what
the
the
double chin, yeah,
fuck
the double
what she's
chin.
such. That is not a trait. That is not a trait of a nigga. You feel me? That is not a nigga trait unless that nigga is overweight. Talking about some damn, I'm gonna call the BIA and think about it.
What are they
Ain't the
gonna
B isn't the BIA the War Department?
do?
Yes, the BIA is the War
So
Department.
wait, isn't that an act of war? What she doing?
Yes, that's an act of war.
But
Yes,
but being that federal recognized tribes, they can't have no armies, can they?
no.
No wonder she called them. You motherfuckers ain't got your own protection.
But you know
Uh-oh.
what they
See,
call the
you see how
United States.
simple I make that shit? That's crazy. Go
But
ahead, talk to me.
you know what they call the United States, huh? They call the
Talk to
United
me.
States their white father. That's what they
Yeah,
call them. All
our
the federal
our
recognized
our pale
tribes.
skinned father.
Mm-hmm.
The Muskogee called everybody their brother. This is the big brother, this is the little brother. When it came to that pale penis, they said father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dada.
Instead of sucking on the mama breast, they're sucking on the daddy
Watch
penis.
this. I said that. I say, man, if you get a baby, the baby could be 3 minutes old. You put the baby on his mama's stomach, he or she is gonna cry or find his way to the breast. You can do this with any mammal. The child is gonna find his way to a breast. Man, them niggas was looking for pee. It made no goddamn
Mm-hmm.
sense. Them niggas were looking for their daddy.
If they worry about their own tribal nation, and I mean, why are they in somebody else's business?
Because Auntie, they ain't worried about their own tribal business. They probably can't even be involved in their tribal business. It's the reason they try to be involved in everybody else shit. Leave people the
That's
fuck
why. That's
alone.
why
Like that's
Chief.
not your shit.
That's why. That's why Chief said what he said. He said you busy worrying about us, but y'all federal recognized. But yet you got people getting kicked out of your own nation because of things that's going on. Why you not trying to solve the problems within your own nation?
Fuck
Why?
that up. Man, imagine
And I
being
don't
at the
know. I
tribe.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know what tribe she's from, but I need to find out because if she's from the Navajo, they got a problem with a water system.
Man, Auntie is from the double neck tribe.
And she's
From the two chin clan.
she your step auntie.
She said again, Auntie. Sorry, pardon me.
She your step auntie.
Oh nah, she ain't real deal. She ain't you. She ain't Auntie Candy and you feel me? She ain't blood. She not family. She not nah. Auntie
Hey,
had like
look,
she say the word she say the wrong word, she might choke on her spit.
And then she done like she chew them beans that they be chewing over there in Asia. What the name of the beans is that they be chewing on that make their teeth look like that?
I don't know what that is.
They be chewing on the beans that make their teeth look like that. Like it's some kind of Asian beans that's over there that they chew on. You know, goddamn, I forgot the name of that bean because
Uh-oh.
her dental work needs some work, boy. I tell you, I ain't lying. Oh, her dental work.
Hopefully, she not a meth patient.
But
No.
Pardon me, y'all. I do have to go. I gotta be up early. I'm in that hole tomorrow.
All right,
Um,
all right.
it flooded 4.5 feet, so we're gonna be draining a lot of water tomorrow. So let me go ahead and get some rest.
All right. Well, you have a good night, and once again, happy early birthday to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, appreciate it.
yeah. Happy birthday, September baby.
Yes, ma'am. 9-9 at 3:33 a.m. 9-9-9 on a Good Friday. Yes, ma'am.
All right, enjoy.
But I thank you, Auntie. Appreciate you, especially for everything. Love y'all.
Love
All
you
right. Love
too.
you too, nephew. Have a good one.
Peace.
Tell my niece I say good night. So, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions for what y'all heard tonight?
People was laughing.
But it's the truth, though.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
truth. Get
It's
on
some
y'all
sad
stuff to be
shit.
proper.
It's some
Yeah,
sad shit.
you know. Because them people coming. But when they know you are the truth, they don't deal with you. Even though they still try to test you, all they do is break them down. you know.
Right. They were
Stop
talking
talking
about
about this is Morocco and El Metal Kush and all of that. Like, nah, stop it, man. You know.
yeah, it's basically they were talking about attackers, people that are attacked and the attackers, the naysayers basically. So if you just tuning in, that's what it is. Peace to everybody in the chat. They just was laughing and said
Yeah,
good.
because you gotta laugh at the truth. You got
Right.
to. You got to. Because the things that people are doing in what I see on TikTok, I'm like, oh man, where these people is getting that from? You know? We
Yeah, they
ain't
don't.
dead, we still alive.
Right. We still here.
We still here.
Still here. Anybody got any comments or questions in the chat? Any observers wanna come on in for a second before we close out? How long we
Drop the
been?
link, drop the link where they can come on if they decide to come on. It may be kind of harsh, but it's all in love and corrective criticism. That's what it is. You know? If we didn't care, we'd let y'all go ahead on and make a fool of yourselves. You put the link in the chat, cuz.
Yep, I'm doing it now. They kind of changed this shit around. It's in the
All
chat.
right, there's the link in the chat if y'all want to come on right quick and speak. You can come on, you know. Because another thing that the people that go after my cousin, they just don't know. They are actually committing an international crime by trying to denationalize us by saying that we are extinct.
Yeah, they don't know the weight of that. They don't
Yeah, they don't
understand.
know the way. I'm letting them know that's the way. That is the way. We telling you that we exist, and you telling us we not. You are creating genocide, and that goes against international law.
Mm-mm-mm. You putting them on notice, cuz?
I'm putting them on notice. I'm putting them on notice. Got to. Because if you think we just gonna sit by, idly watch, you just disrespect family members and say, "Oh, you're not this or you not that," and she literally said, "Oh, you are African American." Well, what the fuck is an African American?
Mm.
Right?
She's
There's no
informed.
ancient people. You welcome, nephew. There's no people called African American. There's none. There's no nation, no tribe, no clan, no band of people called African Americans and say, "Oh, you're African American." How you know? You don't even know his bloodline. You don't even know his bloodline. For you to say somebody is an African American, that is a political construct within itself. That's just like saying a Native American. That's a political construct or
Hmm.
social construct, as they say. You don't know his bloodline, and then you got one dude talking about, oh, he had the Nuwabians and stuff and everything. Okay, they had the toning ceremony, but that does not negate what his bloodline is. That's what
Right. A
y'all
lot
keep
of
on
people.
forgetting. His bloodline. Most of all you motherfuckers are Christians. Does that negate your
Exactly.
bloodline of you being of a tribe?
Exactly. 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 Because your ancestors weren't Christians, but you were.
You know, it's like, really? Really? And then, if you really want to be technical, the reason why you got reservations dealing with the United States because they say you had to put a church on there. That's how most of y'all are Christians anyway. That part.
Right. Right. Right.
This is why y'all got the Native American church and all
Mm.
that there. Come on, let's talk about it.
Right. Right. I do like that they try to incorporate some ceremony and some indigenous things in the Native American church. They trying, at least they not just just straight Christianity. We go worship Jesus type. It's a
But they
step
still
towards correction. It's a step towards correction. They ain't there.
but they still mixing the cocaine.
Ye-
They
Yes,
still
yes,
cutting
they are. They are. They still high
they
off
still
of the Jesus crack. I know.
yeah. Let's be real about it.
Right.
You know, so how you gonna try to incorporate the two? Now that's really a pretending. You incorporating the two? Come on now. That's a total disrespect to your bloodline. If you want to talk about pretending, you pretended to be a Christian. Well, you know your family wasn't that in the beginning. But you
Is
pretended to be a Christian in order to get along.
yeah.
Yeah, Luke, yeah. Yeah, you pretended to be a Christian. Yeah, let's talk about it. You won't be pretending. Okay. Stop pretending that you're a Christian and get back to your tribal ways.
Exactly. It's your
Don't mix
charge
the two.
today. Yeah, get back to your ancestors' ways.
Get back to
And
your ancestral ways. How many of your ancestors in there fought against the BIA and didn't want your family to become federally recognized? Huh? Oh, wait.
hmm.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, okay. You got to ask the reason why they became federal. You talking about documentations. Oh, the documentation. Why you gotta prove to them or ask them to federally recognize you or to state recognize you or to get federal acknowledgement or state acknowledgement.
Why you need
They
somebody's
already
permission?
acknowledge you. What you say, cuz?
Why you need somebody's permission? You are who you are. Why you need somebody's permission?
Right, right. I'm gonna say this like I said on Facebook. Did the United States government write to King George III and say we need you to recognize us as a new nation? No. Did they write to King George III, the crown, and say we want you to acknowledge us? No. They took and they wrote a Declaration of Independence putting the British crown on notice. That's what they did. They wrote and put the British crown on notice, saying, look, man, look, we're going to separate from y'all. We don't have nothing to do with y'all and all that there. But it's more to the story than that, though, because they're still under the British crown.
Yeah, same
But
thing.
anyway, that's a whole nother story. But still, they still wrote to the crowd and say, man, look, we don't have nothing to do with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But y'all writing 500, 570 something federal recognized tribes. Why y'all just can't come together with all the rest of the tribes and say, okay, we're going to come and do a tribal confederation, and we're going to recognize everybody and come up with an Aboriginal or Native American or American Native League, right? And
Wouldn't
deal
they
with things
wouldn't they trying to do
on
that?
your own, huh?
Right. Some people have fucked that up, but there was some groups that were trying to do that. But yeah, that's a good idea. They should do that and do away with the people with their foot on their neck. Why you always gotta ask their permission?
Because
Because
they
it's like,
want that money. They
right,
want that
right.
money. That's what it is. They want that money.
What they call it being a
Let
ward
me,
of the state, a ward of the government, basically.
yeah. But what people in them fail to realize is, let me drop this out there. There was tribal nations that was a part of the Pan American Conference that was not federally recognized. Can you pull that up, cuz? Indian tribes of the Pan American Conference. See, I'm just dropping a little bit of history right here. These was tribes that was
Yeah.
not federally recognized, and they went to Havana, Cuba in 1928.
Oh, so you
It was
want me to look at
American,
1928?
yeah, American nations. I mean, American tribal nations go to the Pan American Conference in Havana, Cuba, in 1928. Look right here. Look right here. In 1928, the Pan American Conference, officially the sixth International Conference of American States, was held in Havana, Cuba, from January 16th to February the 20th of 1928. While the conference achieved all productive results by adopting a convention in topics like asylum and irrigation and copyrights, it has the market. All right. Okay, see about the American tribes that was there in the Pan American Conference, because they had tribal nations that was there.
I'm trying to see did they list them because this is the official site. It just says it just includes the countries: the U.S., Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and many others.
They had tribal nations that was there. I don't know why they don't want to show it, but there was nations that was there, had representatives that was there in 1920. Because one of the historical books that I have was in my shade. They actually said that they actually had tribal nations that was there.
Mm.
I don't know why my laptop is acting funny or acting crazy. Let me see if I can find it.
So these tribal nations were from the indigenous people of these places. The
From the
Dominican
Americas. Yeah, from the Americas, even
is
North
that
America.
yes, from the Americas. That is right.
I'm trying to see what I can find on my end. I don't know why my laptop is acting crazy.
Peace to everybody in the chat, those observing, those participating in the chat. We appreciate y'all.
Let's see what I can pull up on my end.
Yeah, so while he's looking for that, y'all remember the premise of this video was basically to put people on notice that we are still here. The Yamasi, the Wale, the Ibaha, we are still here. We still exist. We are not extinct. In this book, I like how the book that we was looking at earlier, I like how it says, from the Indian standpoint, there was more continuity and stability than the abrupt changes in sovereignty suggested. Each Indian village normally had one or more resident factors, who might be white men, Indian countrymen, mestizos, Indians, or, in certain cases, Negroes. I just was thumbing through it and I saw that stuck out to me.
Well, right here, this is what I found when it's talking about the Native American political activity during the 1920s. They said while no indigenous group will officially represent the Pan African Conference, the Native American political activism was certainly happening nationally during the era. They say in 1928, the Choctaw and the Chickasaw tribal citizens held a convention in Amoy, Oklahoma, to address concerns about the impact of the Burke Act and the Indian Citizenship Act. Notably, the women tribal leaders of Chester Cohen and Estelle um, Chisholm Ward were sent to delegate to Washington, marking a significant first tribal representation. In the early Society of American Indians in 1911 and 1923 had been a national native rights organization involving in pan-Indian advocacy, but it had been dissolved in 1923. There are important examples of indigenous political agencies, but separated from the Pan American Conference proceedings. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so that was right there before they actually did the the Pan American Conference in 1928. So this was dissolved some years before that. So yeah,
Yeah, you had them dates in your head. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I know it was close around one another, but yeah, that was dealing with, you know.
they look at these Negro Indians right here. This is from the conference. The when they were talking about the what you said, the Indian citizenship.
Yeah,
Y'all see them Negro Indians?
they'll be like, "That's in black and white. Put it in color." Well, they dark skinned. They dark
Yeah,
skinned. I tell you that.
yes, they are.
They ain't light by bright, not by long shot.
Mm-mm.
Hey, what's happening, cousin Chico?
Peace, Chico. Yes,
Hi. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's what that's dealing with. But dealing with the South Carolina Negro Act, that's how they were saying that. Let me see if I can pull that up on my end. Let's see.
South Carolina Negro Act.
Yeah, I think it's from 17. I think it's from the
1740
17.
or
Huh?
1735 or 1740.
Yeah. All right, you got it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, the South Carolina Negro Act of 1735 refers to the laws in the early 18th century that severely restricted the lives of enslaved people, including prohibitions on growing their own food, assembling in groups, earning money, and learning to read and write.
No, it's not that one. It's not
It's not
that. It's not that part. It's
that.
not that part. No, it's
All right.
about when
One
the
is for.
Indians, when they talk about the Indians being slaves and Negroes and everything, and that those Indians that was free, that was in amity with the government, and those that wasn't in amity with the government, they was considered as being extinct.
talking about dealing with Negro law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Negro law of South Carolina. The status of the Negro, his
Yeah.
rights and
Um.
disabilities.
Yeah. Section 3. Go to section 3. Go to section 3.
Mm-hmm. Right here.
All right. You got it.
Yeah, I got it. Section 3, Indians and descendants of Indians are regarded as free Indians in amity with this government until the contrary be shown. Do we need to read that again? Okay. In the second proviso of Section 1 of the Act of 1740, it is declared that every Negro, Indian, mulatto, and mestizo is a slave unless the contrary can be made to appear. Yet, in the same, it is immediately thereafter provided the Indians in amity with this government accepted, in which case the burden of proof shall lie on the defendant, that is, on the person claiming the Indian plaintiff to be a slave. The Indian plaintiff to be a slave. This latter clause of the proviso is now regarded as furnishing the rule. The race of slave, Indians or Indians not in amity to this government, the state, is extinct, and hence the previous part of proviso has no application.
So now you gotta ask yourself this: why the Indians are classified within the Negro laws of South Carolina? Huh? Huh? Why Indians are put in the South Carolina Negro laws of 1740? How is it that Indians are inside of the status of the Negro dealing with the Negro laws of South Carolina? Why are they talking about why?
Interesting.
Why? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question. Why are they talking about Indians inside of the South Carolina Negro laws? Can you show them what law it is, cuz? Can you stroll up and let them see what it says dealing with the South Carolina Negro laws? Negro laws of South Carolina. Why do they have Indians within the Negro laws of South Carolina? Why? But y'all said that Indians wasn't Negroes.
We read it several times. Even the other source says it too. We got this, the Negro Law of South Carolina, and just like we read from this, the use of the terms Negro and Black to include persons of Native American ancestry in Anglo North America. So we got two sources for y'all on that.
Oh, what about the congressional records where they said that you had Negro Indians that was pre-Columbian Negroes? Can you look that up? Pre-Columbian Negroes.
Pre-Columbian.
The Yvmvse was known as pre-Columbian Negroes in the congressional records of 1901. oh, there wasn't no Negroes till the Negroes was brought over in the transatlantic slave trade. The congressional records say they had Negroes already here before pre-Columbian. You found it yet, cuz?
Un momento.
Hold on, I'm about to send it to you where you can try to pull it up. Hold
Yeah, my daddy was calling me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm about to send it to you. Hold on, I'm about to send it to you. I'm about to send it to your Facebook. You can pull it up off there. I just sent it to you. Pull that up. That's dealing with the hearing before the Industrial Commission. That's dealing with that's dealing with the congressional records.
Do you know where this is from? The source?
That's from the congressional records. That's right there. That's from the congressional records of 1901.
Okay. Um, it says, um, okay, right here it's talking about the Yamasi Indians were Negroes. What were
Mm-hmm.
what were known afterwards as the fiercest of Indian tribes of the South, and well-known Yamasi Indians were Africans. So they giving what a like a whole blanket statement, but they saying that because they were dark skinned. So y'all gotta dodge the hijack. But it goes on to say Indian Negroes right here. It says, and the hair was different too. And we read this um on one of these podcasts.
Last year.
Yeah, it says,
Yeah,
and the
we did
hair,
this show last year.
Yeah, and the hair was different too. So it is stated by one of the most distinguished ethnologists in the world. Another corroborative proof is that the Spaniards found that one Negro was equal to 10 Indians for work. Oh, that's when they start comparing. These Indian Negroes,
Huh?
is what
What?
they call them.
Okay.
Negroes.
And it what they say pre-Columbian, right? So did not Christopher Columbus come in 1492 dealing with the New World, but they called us pre-Columbian Negroes? Okay. But people say, oh, there wasn't no black people until the transatlantic slave trade. But I
That's a
just
lie.
showed you that was 127 years before that. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm just thumbing through. I'm trying to find some stuff that you want to read some of the stuff that you want to focus on. I'm trying to really look.
Well, he already said about being pre-Columbian. That's the part that I wanted you to see when they say that it was pre-Columbian, that
What
it was
paragraph is
Negro.
that in? Because I might have overlooked it.
I think it's the second one. I think it's the second one or the third one.
Okay, okay. Let me look. Because when I made it big, is I have to really focus because it's a little distorted. Like they
Oh,
said.
it's right there.
What
They
is it?
said that the they said the book in the human race. Let me see the human race. In fact, that the Africans live in on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. See, but
Where
this
is
is
it?
a high authority. That's right there in the second paragraph, almost to the end. It's right before you get to the
Yeah, I see
questionnaire.
Christopher Columbus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I missed that because I started reading right after that where it says Yamasi Indians were Negro. Okay.
yeah. Well, go right before that. Go like
Yeah,
two
I see
sentences
it.
before that.
A most peculiar thing is the quadriphagis.
Uh huh.
In this book on the human race asserts the fact that the African lived, hijack, on these islands. The Negro Indians lived on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it goes on to
Mm-hmm.
say the Yamasi Indians were Negroes, the Yamasi Indians. And then they tried to call them Africans because they were as dark, some of them were as dark as the Ethiopians. Adding to the story.
Mm-hmm. 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 So this is the for the dude that say, "Oh, there was no Negroes in the Americas." Says, "Oh, nigga,
Uh,
the paleface just said it in the book dealing with the races. He said that there was what? There was here before Christopher Columbus, so that means that was pre-Columbian Negroes living in the islands. You know what islands they talking about? They're talking about the islands that's right there on the sea coast, on the sea coast, on the
mhm.
sea coast of the Carolinas. That's for the TikTok dude who was on Facebook. He want people to come to his TikTok. and all that. They're like, dude, I ain't gotta come to your TikTok. Come to my platform. Come to my
Right,
platform.
right, right.
Oh, my people are Gullah, and we are citizens of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. We freemen, but yet you say that you are descendant of Africans. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at
That's,
all.
if that's his admixture, if that is truly his admixture.
He said he ain't got no American native in him whatsoever. He said he all African. That's what he said.
Uh, oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
hey,
oh
this is
oh oh
genealogy.
I'm oh I'm Gullah. I'm Gullah. I'm Gullah. Like, dude, like he
You
had the
even
slightest
know what
idea.
that means.
He had the slightest idea. He don't have the slightest idea. You know what I'm saying? But he's a bootlicker anyway. Yeah, I said he's a bootlicker. You know?
That's an old
I
term for all the old heads out there.
yeah, yeah. He took it ball. Oh, sick, cool. Man, he wake up with my cousin on his mind. He go to sleep with my cousin on his mind. It's like he's a man fan. To say he's supposed
Yeah,
to have a wife, he
really is.
man, I
He's
gotta
really
question him.
obsessed. Yeah, he's obsessed. He's a man fan, but he'll be all right. He
Yeah,
just misinformed, and he needs to be schooled. That's all.
And then you got the other asshole. He want to talk and everything, but yet he just don't know. I got what he was saying. Oh, chief is my he's my people. Tell Chatu Pa to fall back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got the comment. I got the comment. My man fan. Who's the man fan of me? He just don't know. I got it. All that he was talking about, Sekou, my cousin, and everything. Oh, yeah, Sekou related to me and everything. Tell Chatu Pa to fall back. Yeah, yeah. I know he mad he can't call my phone no more. He
Yeah.
can't call
Anyway, he's defeated.
my phone.
The enemy is
Oh,
defeated.
yeah. Yeah, don't make me pull the records out, baby. I got all the receipts. You heard me? Play with me.
Is-
Yo,
Yeah. So this
yo.
is a good proof for y'all about. Yeah. Hold on. A momento.
And I like to give big ups to Pat because Pat was like, man, this dude, he on TikTok. Oh no, he's on YouTube talking about you and your chief. So big up to Pat. I give big up to him for letting me know. You know what I'm saying? Because at first this motherfucker was all on our jock strap, and now you want to talk stuff and all that there. Yeah, yeah. You absolutely, yeah. Peace, Patrick. You're absolutely right, bro. L. Lewis, exactly. When Negroes don't believe nothing until the white T man says it, so why they can't believe this passage? Right. You know, exactly. Right. Yeah, but see, but this like when I hit old boy in the head with that, he was trying to deny the congressional records, but they don't know congressional records, congressional records are actually used in law. That's why they call it congressional records. Congressional records are used in law. But he
Yeah.
was trying to deny the congressional records. Like the
Yeah.
fuck?
He can't pick.
Where
He
they do
can't
that at?
he can't pick and choose what's used and what's not. So we already know he's been debunked. We already know that shit. He's been debunked. He's just mad. That's all. This is what the your establishment said about the Negro Indians of the Yamasi tribal nation. So there you have it. So anybody got any comments or questions? I did put the link. I
If y'all want
did.
to come on right quick and just give a shout out to us, be like, look, we glad y'all doing this. You know what I'm saying? Be free to come on. You know what I'm saying? Come and build. You know what I'm saying? But this has always been a war that been raging on for years and everything, because when they came to the Southeast, it was like, and then what's so funny is that the Southeast had predominantly mostly all Negroes anyway in it. That's why, like I said, why would they put the term Indian in there within the Negro law of South Carolina? Because
Right.
that was an oasis. That was an oasis of Negro Indians in South Carolina. It tells you that in the beginning when they were talking about Beaufort, South Carolina, where they
Yeah,
had the predominant of all Negro Indians.
it said this was a Negro paradise, is what it said.
Right, right. A Negro paradise. A Negro paradise. A Negro paradise. That's what it is. How you gonna go against the congressional records? How you gonna go against the Negro law in South Carolina? That's a law. That is a law. That's not a statute or code or revised code. That is the law. It's 1740. This was after the Yamasi War in 1715. So you still had Negro Indians. See, and this is what I don't like about the so-called slave movies, because they show you when people were slaves and everything, but yet they're not showing you the flip side to where you
Right.
had Negro Indians who was at amity
Yes.
against the doggone colonists and everything. They don't want to talk
Exactly.
about that. They don't want
Yeah.
to talk about the Yamasi War. They don't want to talk about the Gullah War. They don't want to talk about the first, the second, and the third Seminole War, which all was a part of the Yamasi and the doggone Guale War. They don't want to talk about that. They just want you to think that niggas was docile. And it really couldn't been that, because this is the reason why Abraham Lincoln and them had to go head on and say, hold on, these niggas is causing up a motherfucking ruckus in the Southeast. We gotta do something. You know what? Let's do an emancipation proclamation and let the niggas in them know they're free. Niggas already was free. They was
Right.
already fighting for their freedom already. That's what y'all don't fail to realize.
The unconquered people.
Right,
I love it.
right,
Unconquered
right.
people.
Even the general had to tell General um Andrew Jackson, General President Andrew Jackson, hey man, this is not an Indian war. This is a Negro war. Well, they couldn't tell the Negro different from the Indian. Dealing with on King's Philip Road when when um when Osceola had told him, he said, look, if they would have had slaves here and everything, we would have sent them back to you in the Carolinas. But everybody here that you see are Seminoles. There are no Negro slaves here. So you know what wind up happening? They wind up taking the Seminoles.
Mm, mm, mm.
How you couldn't tell the Seminoles back then different from the Negroes that was down there became known as the runaways, or as they said, the Maroons.
Mm-hmm. The
You couldn't
maroon.
tell them apart. I had one Pan African say, "Oh, they could tell them apart." No, they couldn't. The only way
Oh,
how you told them apart if it was to open up their mouth and say something.
right. If they ain't speaking the native language.
Right. If the Seminoles that look like Seminoles today was back then in the in the 1700s, and you had Africans that ran amongst them, you could have heard them out. Hey, oh, you are African, you are African, you are African. Because the Africans don't look nothing like the Seminoles that you see today. But back then in the 1700s, the Seminoles was Negroes. This is the reason why you couldn't tell them different from the Africans.
Yeah, and this is when they start to bash them because it's saying here, it says they tried to accuse them of outrageous offenses, right? But then it says Eastern North Carolina became a Negro paradise. uh, yeah, I just had to point that out when we was talking about that earlier. It was already a Negro paradise. So it didn't
Right.
become that. It was already that when you came.
Greetings, Time Walker. Right. It was already a paradise. It was paradise when y'all came. Dealing with the King Philip Road and all that there. Go look up the reenactment. It'll tell you. You couldn't tell the people apart back then.
Yeah, and then they started talking about Bankford. It said,
Buford. Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's kind of distorted when I make it big. Buford, yeah. He said it
Mm-hmm.
is perhaps the blackest spot in the whole South.
Mm. And they said the Negro population, right?
It's predominant more than anywhere else. Yep, it says he is a high authority and he says that the Yamasi Indians were Negroes. Right.
Right. And they were pre-Columbian Negroes, pre-Columbian Negro Indians.
Yep. It says that they were on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus.
Right. Right. But y'all mad at us because we are who we say we are.
Mm,
We are who we say we are. But it just was a Buford though. But it just was a Buford though. That's the whole thing. It just was a Buford. It was the whole South.
right,
It was
right.
the whole South. Even when you got people them talk about the movie Roots and all that there. Even when they talk about the movie Roots, talking about it was plagiarized and all that there. But still, it was a lesson learned in the movie because the chick who he married, she said,
Yeah, she
my
ain't.
mother and my father was from here. So that
Yeah,
means you know that there was Negro Indians on the plantations with with those who was the Mandinka and the Mandy and everything that they falsely called Africans at that time.
right. Yeah, she said she wasn't no Mandinka. Her
I'm
family
not
was.
no Mandinka. My family been here. But
Yeah,
people didn't catch that.
right.
People
Because
didn't catch
it was
that.
overshadowed by the foolery. And that's why I don't like movies like that because it doesn't tell the whole story. They just show you the weak shit. They don't show the strong warriors and warrioresses. They don't show that shit.
Like with Nat Turner. You know what
Uh,
I'm saying? You know, but you got people talking about Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman was not real people. What?
well, they say he was connected to the Nottoway.
Yeah. Yeah, how else you gonna know the land? How else you gonna know the land?
Yeah, they don't like when we say that he was connected to the Nottoway. So then that puts him in a whole nother category. But
Right.
yeah. So y'all do
Even
have
if DeSoto, even if DeSoto owned memoirs, when he said what in 1540 that when he came to a place known as Louisiana, he came across Negro Indians. Negro Indians
yeah, it's
in
such a term.
Louisiana.
Such a term. It is.
That's what DeSoto said in his memoir or his journal that he came across Negro Indians in Louisiana. It was 1540, 1560, somewhere around that time. Yeah, I think it was 1560. See if you can pull that up. DeSoto said he came across Negro Indians in 1560 in Louisiana. But y'all keep on trying to deny it. Why y'all keep on trying to deny it? I mean, it don't make no sense to deny it. The United States government know who is who. They know. They know who the Negro Indian is. They know. You had Negro Indians before the admixture, and you had Negro Indians after the admixture. Because for them to be Negro Indians before Christopher Columbus, that was before the admixture. From their timeline. Because see, what they don't know is we was already traveling around the world on canoes. That part.
Uh, s- some of them are described as seafarers.
Right.
They said Atlantic Creoles. Yeah, this was in 1539 and 1543. DeSoto's expedition in the southeast of the United States. Negro and Indio. We also used Atlantic Creoles.
Yeah, I'm glad people are waking up. I'm glad they're waking up and waking up to the truth. And like nephew say, be who you are and stop with all this other, I'm saying, fallacious information talking about America is Egypt and the Nile is the Mississippi. I mean, the Mississippi is the Nile.
Stop
First of
confusing the
all,
people. Stop confusing the people.
right. First of all, Mississippi ain't even much our word. That's a Ojibwe word, which is dealing with the Algonquin. The people of the Southeast never called it no Mississippi. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
They just need to separate it and put it in proper perspective. If they're saying that it's like an allegory, like okay, that script that they're using in that script, we are described as this as an allegorical term. Don't say that this is it. Don't say that because that's not a fact. I just want them to clear that shit up. Say, you using it allegorically, or are you trying to say it's fact, but it's not fact? And those people there, our ancestors in that area, didn't call nothing the Nile in the Americas. Nothing.
Right. And they don't even much know that the word Nile is a damn Greek word. Dumbasses.
Pi ain't gonna let y'all live that down. He is not gonna stay off y'all neck
Cause
for
I
that.
because I don't like seeing people wallow in their fucking ignorance. I hate that shit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like that's why I say when you know better, you do better. That's why people looking at you and say, wait, what tribe you say you from again? Man, the people never said that.
right.
This
And
like you got to do. This like you got one dude who on Facebook and TikTok, and he said that he Cherokee, right, or AOL, and he talked about telling the people that the Mayans are Israelites. How in the fuck Mayans become Israelites?
right. And so
How?
that's why I want them to put it in the proper excuse me perspective. They need to put it in the proper perspective and say, okay, in this allegorical story, who are the true people or the real people? Not saying this is a fact. No, you cannot say that this is a fact. So they need to clear that shit up. If you're looking at it from an allegorical standpoint, I could even see if they were trying to say that. But no, they're trying to present it as a fact to people, and that is confusing to people.
You never heard of no Mayans going through a motherfucking wilderness and going through famine and all that there. How the fuck they gonna go through famine and they was the ones that had the Maz, which people falsely call maize. You know what I'm saying? It's Maz.
Yeah, I mean they do have the story about when the eagle perched. Um, that's where they were to go to next as they were traveling basically.
You know, but they still had Maz though. So you
Yeah,
never heard them say they had a famine. How you gonna have a famine and you had corn? Oh, which they call corn, which is Maz. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
maize are
You
mine.
never heard them say they had to wait until the morning dew fell for them to get
Yeah,
manna from heaven to eat. You
yeah,
never heard them
yeah.
talking about no
Right, right,
shit
right.
like that.
It's that's because they don't realize who concocted that whole thing, like the Council of Nicaea and all of that. They don't even know how all that was constructive. You know, they don't understand. They don't understand. But you learn. They
But they
just
don't want to learn though,
they need
cuz
to,
they
yeah, they
just keep
need to
on
learn
running
their
with their
own
false narrative.
genealogy. That's all. They need to learn their own genealogy. Now, some of them
Because
have had people in their family that they called themselves Hebrew Israelites. They
this thing that's
identify with
called
their religion.
that's things when you say they learn, they can learn the wrong way or they can learn the right way. You
Right,
know, and the way that they learn, I'm telling them it's wrong. When it
right,
comes
right.
to over here, it is wrong. Oh, we the lost tribe of Israel. Israel never said it was motherfucking lost because it was taken to Assyria. Because it was taken to Syria in the second books of Kings. They said it was taken to Syria. So if it was taken to Syria, how the fuck are they gonna be lost?
Right. And the thing is, I hate that they are just like presented, like I said, as facts. When if you look at it allegorically, it's just like everybody is waking the fuck up now. Like, I mean, yes, of course, it's people like us that already knew that we were indigenous in our family because our grandmothers and great grandmothers told us this. But people are waking up. People have been scattered and misinformed, hiding under the banner of Christians, Hebrew Israelites, or whatever religion that they were converted to. They have been hidden in the shadows. So, in essence, allegorically, they have been scattered. So, in that script, that movie script that y'all call a Bible, you could view that from an allegorical standpoint, but they don't specify that, so it misleads people when they hear them say that. So it is fucked up because it's misleading to people. They need to state the facts.
I don't know why people hate the fact that the mound builders were Negroes.
You said that the mound builders what?
Are Negroes.
Right. They hate on anything melanated that created or originated anything. It's the hatred of the mother. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. It's the hatred of the mother. That's all. And they will pay, whether that's spiritually, mentally, and sometimes physically, for that. The hatred of the mother that birthed you forth. The mitochondrial DNA that birthed your ass forth. You hate her so. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad people are waking the fuck up. Waking the fuck up. That's awesome. Even you see other people that, if you want to go on lookology, other people that are lighter than us are saying the Negroes were the original peoples here. The,
You know what?
actually, when you
I
look
really
in
I really
history,
don't like saying people are waking up. I don't really like that because
yeah,
I have seen
they've been
no
sleepwalking. They've been
no. The
sleepwalking.
reason why
They know
listen
that.
to no listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Listen to what
No,
I'm saying.
okay, that's your perspective. Go ahead with your
Listen to
perspective.
what I'm saying. You got people that wake up still in the motherfucking days. They're not fully woke. What I mean by that, you got people that still wake up all droggy and everything,
Yeah,
not
that's
knowing what the
why
fuck
I
is going
said
on.
they are waking the fuck up. I didn't say they was fucking awakened. I said they're waking the fuck up.
Because you got people that's waking up still fucking confused. Because look at all the shit they're doing. Yeah, oh, I'm an Indian, but they're still confused with shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not the awoken. You know, that's why I would want to use that term. I'd be like, look, some people are becoming enlightened. I wouldn't say woke because you still got
Right,
some.
right. I didn't say they
Yeah,
was woke. I said they're waking the fuck up, like in a state of waking up. You when you waking up, you still getting your shit together. You kind of coherent, but you still getting your shit together. That's the definition of waking up. Anybody got any comments or questions? And very interesting.
and this is why
Yeah,
and this is why LL Lewis, this is why you have to correct AI.
yeah,
By saying they said that it was a black Indians, but the Soto account says different. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And that's why you put in to AI and say, well, the account of the Soto says different. And watch how AI put it in there. Put it in there. Put the Soto account in 1540 says different that there was Negroes. Put it in there.
yep. And
Cause
you'll see
remember this Soto.
LL Lewis when you put it in there. You sure will. So we gave y'all some good sources tonight. The
I want
use
I want I want
of
LL Lewis to
Negro
put
and
it in there
Black.
while we still on the line and see what AI says after he corrects
Yeah.
AI.
I want to hear what he got to say. Type your comment in the chat. In the meantime, y'all, we did give y'all some good sources. The use of the terms Negro and Black to include persons of Native American ancestry in Anglo North America, Jack D. Forbes. Also, the Negro Law of South Carolina. So, if y'all want to look at all the sources for tonight, and then nephew had a
What AI program you using on LL Lewis? What AI program you using? Are you using what they call that Genesis? Are you using what's the other one? Meta? Are you using Meta?
yeah. Type it in the comment. We also had Creek and Seminoles, the destruction and
Okay,
regeneration
you using
of the
you using
historical
Google. Okay, Well,
Believe.
put this in there. Put this in there. Um, ask AI the question. Ask AI. Well, why does the account of the Soto says different? And see what different kind of um results you get then. Ask AI the question. Well, why does the account of the Soto says different?
Yeah, this one was a good book source. I like this picture on here too. Creek and Seminoles. Because the Yvmvse and the Guale Ibaha were absorbed into the creeks and the Seminoles.
So what it said when you ask AI, well, why does the account of the Soto says different? And see what AI says.
We know how to use Google. He said, I'm just on Google. He'll find it. He'll be all right. All right, y'all. We gonna shut it on down. We've been on here,
Well,
but
I'm about to do the after party on my Facebook page.
yeah,
I'm about to go do the after party on my Facebook page.
yeah,
So
y'all go join him on his Facebook page for the after party. Y'all remember the sources we used tonight, and then I'm gonna share a couple of things with y'all before we close out, just so y'all can see the sources.
yeah, y'all already see my name right there. That's me on Facebook. You heard me. So I'm about to go live on Facebook, the after party, so y'all can come over there and we're gonna get more into it. And we're gonna go ahead. All right. But there wasn't no Negro descent in Louisiana in the 1540s. There was no Negro. There was no Negro. Yeah, AI playing around. It's talking about African descent. There was no African descent in the 1500s.
All right, y'all. If y'all want to support us, y'all can
Go
go
to the merch.
merch. This is our store. So we commemorate ceremonies. So one of the ceremonies that that we celebrate is green corn. So we got the green corn gear. Y'all can get it for next year, in time for next year. Y'all can order it early. So we got the white and the black. We got the coffee, the tea mugs. Then we got our classic design, Southeastern Talking Stick podcast. And then we have our animated design. So check us out with the merch. We got a little bit of everything, y'all. So uh, we want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Y'all can head over to Paz Facebook if y'all want to do the after party. But Southeastern Talking Stick podcast, we out. Peace.
See y'all on the live, on my live.